This video is a wake-up call. This is a rude awakening for those of you that are completely asleep at the wheel with regards to your health. And I'm going to show you why right now. This chart, it really beautifully demonstrates exactly what's going on with people's health and their longevity. If you want to live a long life, and I'm going to explain the difference between health span and lifespan, you're going to want to watch the video all the way to the end. It's going to be a very, very easy to understand video. So here you can see a chart, and the title of the chart is Body Fat Percentage versus Disease Risk. So basically, the more body fat you have, the relationship to the risk of disease that you will have. Let me explain. So here on this very easy to understand chart, you've got a probability increased percentage risk of disease, 100 being at the top, 0 being at a baseline. You're not going to get sick. You're not going to have a disease. 100 being you're going to die with a disease guaranteed. Now, on the bottom here, let this represent the x-axis and the y-axis. On the bottom is the ratio of body fat percentage. 0 being 0, you got no body fat, and 50% being 50% of your body is fat. And that's quite the obese state. So, very easy to understand. If you've got significantly low body fat over a long period of time, the increased risk and probability of you having hormone dysfunction, low energy, low cognition is going to be very, very high. Well, think of bodybuilders, for example. Bodybuilders are the perfect example of how they can completely change and morph and play chemistry with their body to get their bodies into a significantly low body fat percentage. I know, I've been there, I've done it many times, and it's quite inspiring and motivating, and it's really cool to be able to do that. However, it's not sustainable. Athletes that fight, swimmers, they often need to also drop weight and go to a low body fat percentage. But again, it's very, very short-lived, and it's not over a long period of time. However, the longer of a life you have with significantly low body fat, it is going to increase risk of disease over a long period of time. Now, as you start to see, there's a sweet spot. Sweet spot of body fat percentage for men is usually around 12%, going all the way up just over 20%. For women, you want to be hovering at around 15%, at around 23, 24 body fat percentage. That's a sweet spot. The lower your body fat is over a long period of time, hovering into that sweet spot, you're going to have increased health span and increased lifespan. That's called the sweet spot of longevity and health. So you're really not going to have any probable chances of developing disease when you're in that sweet spot of body fat percentage. However, if you start to increase body fat percentage, you start to get a significant bowl around your stomach. You lose your belt line. You can't see your belt. You've got to start wearing loose-fitting leggings all the time because you can't wear jeans. Your shirts, you need to wear baggy shirts. The more body fat that you have, it dramatically increases the risk and probability of you developing disease risk. What does that look like if you've got increased body fat percentage? Well, you're going to be pre-diabetic. You're going to have systemic inflammation. The cognitive decline is going to happen, so you're not going to be thinking as straight. You're not going to be as quick. Your recall is not going to be as quick. Same thing with low body fat percentage. If you ever known a bodybuilder that was competing, they're kind of like a mummy, a dummy, if you will, during that time, because their brain needs fat. But if you've got significantly low fat, you're not going to think properly. If you got too much body fat, your brain's not going to think properly. As well as you're going to have increased blood sugar happening the more fat you are, the more body fat you have. You're going to have increased blood pressure the more body fat that you have. You're going to have increased lipids. You're going to have increased estrogen. The more body fat you have, guess what? The more estrogen your body's going to have, and the more toxins of your body is going to be storing, because fat cells have no limit. They can keep on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so they're going to be completely disrupting your hormones. As well as you're going to be faced with degeneration of the entire body, degradation of the body. It's going to break down because it's trying to survive, but you got too much fat. And it takes a tremendous amount of effort and calories to manage a body that's so overweight. Now, here's the other kicker. There's such a thing as skinny fat. Have you ever seen someone that's really skinny, but they've got a tremendous amount of body fat? Why is that? Because they don't have enough muscle. And so what tissue and what room that they have in their body, they're skinny fat. And so being skinny fat is also going to increase probability of early disease and sickness and death. And then on the flip side, if you're tremendously skinny, anorexic, that's the exact same thing. You're going to significantly decrease your chances of living a nice, long, healthy life because you're low. So you got to get in that sweet spot. This sweet spot, very easy to stay in. And once you're in that sweet spot, it's so much easier to maintain. But it's very difficult to get into that sweet spot, especially if you've got some cognitive issues and behavioral issues. Maybe you've got some anorexia happening or bulimia, or you've got an eating disorder. It's tough, but you can get into this sweet spot. Same thing. If you have excessive body fat, it's tough to get into the sweet spot, but it's totally doable. I do it all the time with my clients. The way that I work with people, it's one of the easiest ways to lose weight is by addressing your gut, addressing your nutrition, addressing your mindset, looking at all sorts of things, but it always starts in the gut. But most people are chasing these, I need to improve my blood sugar. I need to improve my blood pressure. I need to decrease my cortisol. Prescription for that, prescription for that, prescription for that, prescription for that. Here, someone's going to have probably anxiety and depression, usually, or here as well. Okay, antidepressants, anti-anxiety, sleep medication, right? Behavioral issues. So in this sweet spot, you're far less likely to have any issues health-wise. So I hope this shakes things up and ruffles your feathers a little bit, because if you're here and you're continuously seeing a slow increase of body fat, you will continuously get worse and worse and worse. And I guarantee you, like right here, health span, lifespan. Do you want to live until you're 70 or 75 or 80 or 85 fat and overweight and unhealthy with joint pain using a smorgasbord of medications? Because your health span is going to decrease, but your lifespan might continue on. Because medication and drugs have incredible miraculous properties, and they have definitely improved the length of lifespan, but health span is decreased. And same thing here. If you are sick and you're very, very, very low body fat continuously over a long period of time, your health span is going to also decrease. You want to get in that pocket. That's what I do. I help people get in this pocket. Within 6 weeks, you can get into this pocket. 8 weeks, get into this pocket. Maybe a little while longer. But I would rather take 6 months to get into this pocket than spend years and years and years being outside of that pocket, being completely miserable, because you know you're going to get worse. You know you're going to get worse. Hope you found that valuable. Hit a like, hit a share. Comment below if this strikes a nerve. And yeah, this is it. This is why I do what I do. This is why I help people. Help people left, right, and center all around the world to get in this pocket. Achieve the lifespan, achieve the health span. Brennan Coates, Gut Whisperer, out.